The immense power required to move the world's largest military plane, the Lockheed C-5M Super Galaxy. The Lockheed C-5M Super Galaxy doesn't look like it should fly. It's enormous, obscene even, a lumbering beast of steel and rivets, stretching more than 247 feet from nose to tail, towering nearly 6 stories high when parked on the tarmac. Its wingspan, minus 222 feet across, is broader than the White House is long. It casts shadows that could swallow smaller planes whole, and yet it lifts into the sky as if defying physics itself, slowly, gracefully, and then suddenly, unstoppably. But behind that effortless rise is a force of raw, roaring power almost impossible to comprehend. It takes everything modern aviation can muster, and then some, to get this giant off the ground. The question isn't just how it flies, it's how much it takes to make it fly. This is not just a plane. This is a flying fortress powered by an engine system so massive, so fuel-hungry, so loud that even standing beside it feels like being near an earthquake. And yet, it's also a marvel of precision engineering. So delicately balanced that it can land on a dime in a war zone, carry tanks like luggage, and evacuate a city if needed. Its strength is not only in size, but in the strategy behind every bolt, every engine cycle, every flight hour logged in secret across foreign skies. At the heart of its propulsion lies the General Electric CF680C2 engines, 4 of them, each capable of producing over 51,000 pounds of thrust. On paper, those numbers look impressive. In reality, they sound like thunder. When all 4 engines roar to life, they don't simply turn on, they announce themselves to the world. A deep, vibrating thunderclap reverberates through the air, rattling the ground, sending flocks of birds scattering from trees miles away. The sheer volume of power being generated can be felt in your bones. And it has to be that way, because this aircraft doesn't just carry cargo, it carries war. Abrams tanks, Apache helicopters, entire mobile hospitals, ammunition stockpiles, humanitarian relief packages the size of mobile homes, sometimes all of them at once. It has the highest payload capacity of any American aircraft, nearly 285,000 pounds. That's more than an adult blue whale, more than 40 African elephants. That's 3 fully loaded semi-trucks worth of gear, loaded into its hollow belly, stacked, strapped, and balanced with millimeter-level precision. And when it's flying, the crew inside doesn't just monitor, they manage a constant ballet of adjustments, weight shifts, cabin pressure, fuel burn, load temperature. Every variable has to be accounted for in real time. There's no room for error when you're hauling the kind of weight that could shift the balance of a battlefield. Inside the cockpit, there's a hum of calculated urgency, of calm voices reading instruments, tracking the skies, making sure that every ton of power beneath their feet behaves exactly as engineered. Because one slip, one oversight, could turn this giant into a falling star. Getting something that heavy into the air doesn't just require strength, it requires genius. Takeoff begins on a runway longer than some countries have roads. The engines howl, dragging in air at an industrial rate, compressing it with devastating force before igniting it into a stream of pure superheated propulsion. Fuel lines thicker than a person's arm feed the turbines with hundreds of gallons per minute. Every second in motion is a costly burst of chemistry and physics in perfect synchronization. As the plane rolls down the tarmac, the full weight of 380 tons builds momentum. The tires, minus 28 of them, spin faster and faster, but the wings don't lift yet. This is a plane that decides when it wants to fly. There's no sudden jump, it's a controlled release, and when the speed hits 140 knots, there it is, the nose lifts, the wheels leave the earth, the impossible becomes real. And then it climbs, a skyscraper in motion. From a strategic standpoint, this aircraft is less of a plane and more of a tool of instant military response. It moves the tools of war where they're needed before anyone even knows they're missing. From domestic air bases to forward operating locations, the Super Galaxy can cross continents in hours. It can land on austere airstrips, dirt runways, or hastily repaired tarmacs, all with tanks still on board. In wartime, it's a ghost, slipping through night skies under radar coverage, delivering critical payloads under the cover of darkness. In peacetime, it's a lifeline, flying to disaster zones with bottled water, food, generators, and medical teams. Earthquakes in Turkey, floods in Pakistan, tsunamis in the Pacific. Wherever devastation strikes, this plane is often among the first signs that help has arrived. Yet all of this takes a toll. The amount of power required to keep a C-5M airborne is staggering. In 1 hour of flight, it can burn through over 20,000 pounds of fuel. That's nearly 3,000 gallons. That's a backyard swimming pool. emptied, burned, and turned into lift in just 60 minutes. And most missions are not 1 hour. They are transoceanic. 12, 13, 14 hours. Non-stop, refueled mid-air. Sustained by other aircraft so it doesn't have to land because sometimes landing is not an option. The refueling operation is a delicate dance between giants. Somewhere over the Atlantic, another aircraft, the KC-135 or KC-46 tanker, lines up above the Super Galaxy. At hundreds of miles per hour, in turbulent skies, a fuel moon lowers and connects like a handoff in a relay race. Precision piloting takes over, no margin for error. Tens of thousands of gallons transfer through a steel umbilical cord as pilots keep both planes locked together in the sky like ballet dancers. Then the hose disconnects, the tanker veers off, and the C-5M continues its journey without ever touching the ground. Inside, the crew lives by a different rhythm. The cockpit is massive, designed not just for flight, but for endurance. Pilots, flight engineers, and load masters rotate duties, monitoring pressure, temperature, hydraulics, and navigation. There's no room for fatigue. Lives depend on them arriving precisely, on time, fully functional. Below deck, in the belly of the beast, cargo specialists keep watch over the freight. Every crate must be stable, every chain tight. A single slip could compromise the aircraft's balance. And on longer missions, that cargo isn't just metal, it's people. Medical evacuation flights, special forces teams, even diplomatic VIPs during crisis moments. But for all its strength, this plane's greatest weapon may be its silence. Not in sound, but in presence. The C-5M doesn't advertise itself. It doesn't need to. It's not sleek like a fighter jet. It's not stealthy like a B-2. It's not aggressive like an A-10. But its power is in volume, in persistence, in reach, in what it can deliver at a moment's notice anywhere in the world. Its size tells a story. A nation that can fly one of these is a nation that can project strength across oceans, deserts, or mountains in a single breath. You don't need to send missiles when you can deliver a tank battalion overnight. You don't need to escalate when you can evacuate 500 civilians in one trip. Power doesn't always explode. It sometimes lands gently, unloads quietly, and changes the course of events without ever firing a shot. And the aircraft itself is not the end. It's the beginning. It delivers what others need to fight. The teeth of the operation come later. The C-5M is the jaw that brings them to the field. Its pilots speak of it with reverence, not fear, but awe. It takes a particular kind of person to command this much machine. There is no aggression in their words, just calm control, deep respect, a recognition that what they're flying is part machine, part myth. Because at the end of the day, the C-5M Super Galaxy is not just an aircraft. It is a machine that should not exist, a defiant rebuke to gravity, a testament to engineering, a weapon of peace and war, a silent message whispered through jet engines and fuel lines. We are here, we are ready, and we can move the world if we have to. So next time you see it on a runway, towering, unmoving, quiet, know this. What you're looking at isn't just the largest military plane in the world. It's a Titan with wings, and when it moves the future.